The first thing I want to say if you've ever experienced anxiety, you're not alone. And just because you have it, it doesn't make you less than anyone else. Anxiety is something that everyone shares. It's something that we will all experience at some point in our lives. But it feels oftentimes like a battle between me and myself. This battle feels like I'm trying to calm my fast heartbeat. I'm trying to catch my breath, trying to wipe off my sweaty palms. And what we know about anxiety starts on the inside, but it will show itself on the outside. Now, I know a lot of you watching this video might have had anxiety before and you've experienced those symptoms, and overcoming those things and those symptoms is oftentimes very hard to do. But anxiety can be in me, but it doesn't have to have me. I kind of imagine anxiety kind of like swallowing like a hot pepper. See, when you swallow the hot pepper, it gets in you, and then the trigger goes off, and then you feel stomach ache on the inside, and you feel something within you change. See, anxiety is a trigger for us to pay attention to. I started battling anxiety in seventh grade, and whenever I was asked to pray out loud or give a speech, or any form of public speaking, I would struggle. The teacher would say to me, "Zach, it's your turn to give the presentation," and just hearing my name called out loud triggered me. I mean, my heart rate started to increase. I'd get sweaty palms. I couldn't think straight because I felt something change within me. My heart began to race. I got really cold. But then something would change outside of me. I had inward triggers, but outward experience. My body would begin to shake, and I felt like I had this weird disconnection between my brain and my body. And I would get in front of the class to speak, and what was going on inside of my head caused my body to react, and I would shake very bad. See, the thing with anxiety, it causes our brain to work against us. Anxiety can affect our memories. And it's crazy because how we think and what we are aware of and what's around us all begins to change when we have anxiety. And it changes how we interact with others and ourselves. I'm pretty passionate about this topic because if we do not learn how to manage our anxiety will control us. And if you're anything like me, I want God to have the complete control of how I live and have control over my anxiety. And here's the thing, our brains, they can experience a lot of emotion like fear, stress, love, anxiety, and all the more. There's so many different types of emotions that we do experience. And sometimes the emotion can become too much. And if you're a Christian and you have anxiety, let me just say to you right now, number one, it is okay. But number two, it's not okay not to do anything about it. See, anxiety is not who you are. It is what you are experiencing. I believe that you are made in the image of God. We are created to be like Him. And sometimes that means we're going to feel very big emotions because He's a very big God. But there's no part of you that God didn't make on purpose. Everything that you have, all the emotions are made on purpose. In Psalms 139, 13 through 14, it says, "You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb." Thank you, thanking God for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. See, everything that we experience, all the emotions are from God, a big, great God. Anxiety is something God created, in fact, to help us bear His image, to remind us of His presence. God designed anxiety to help protect ourselves from danger and react to fast emergencies, and also times thinking of multiple outcomes. So that way we can see things from a different perspective and see things differently. Anxiety is a warning sign to our minds and brings awareness to our lives. But if anxiety causes us to move in a negative direction and not a positive one, we need to do something about it. In Matthew 6:34, it says, "Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." Another term for anxiety is worry. Worry wages war on the mind. And if we worry or remain anxious too long, it can hurt us instead of protect us, because anxiety is actually supposed to be positive and not a negative thing. But God didn't design you to be an anxious or feel fearful person, and He didn't create you to worry. There is a thief in the world named the devil who tries to destroy you in your mind and overcome you. In John 10:10, the enemy is described as the thief only comes to steal and kill and destroy. But I come that you may have life and have it abundantly. See, God came so we can live free from worry and anxiety. God created you to bear his image, and he has given us the power to manage our anxiety. See, he has the power to eliminate your anxiety, but we need to do it by being led by the Holy Spirit. In Romans 8:14, it says, "For all who are being led by the Spirit of God, these are the sons of God." Ruth was a person who had anxiety about her future, but was led by the Spirit to a place of peace. But her anxiety happened because her husband died and had no one to turn to. That was her trigger. And she was hungry, and she needed to eat and feed her mother in law. But without knowing what was next, God led her to a man named Boaz, who loved her so much and provided for all of her needs. It says in Ruth 1:13, "Then she said, I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, for you have comforted me and spoke kindly to me, your servant, though I'm not one of your servants." See, Ruth leaned into the Lord through her anxiety, and God led her through it. And so when we're feeling anxious, when we feel like everything is moving fast and we can't slow down and everything feels like it's going at, the speed of light, it's really only when we slow down and be still we can find God through our anxiety. My favorite verse, one of them, Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted among the earth." See, it was in the slowing down process when Ruth experienced God move in an incredible way and through her situation. And sometimes when we want to speed through our life, our anxiety can get the best of us. But it's when we actually slow down in the middle of our anxiety, in the middle of the chaos, we tend to manage our anxiety a little bit better because slowing down soothes our anxiety. Psalms 33:20-22 says, "Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart is glad in him, because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we have hope in you." See, slowing down lets us surrender to God more. Slowing down helps you prevent anxiety, but also manage your anxiety. So number one today, what are we going to do? When you have anxiety, we're going to slow down our breathing. We're going to take deep breaths in and slow breath out. See, breathing, it lowers your heart rate, it relaxes your brain, and it soothes your body and calms your soul. And so there's this idea called box breathing. It's 4 seconds in, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale 4 times. So go, breathe in for 4 seconds. You go, and then you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you release it for 4 seconds. And the next thing we're going to do to combat our anxiety is this: we're going to slow the notifications of our life. We're going to slow down our social media use. We're going to slow down everything we possibly can to limit our anxiety and just the distractions of this world. See, the more we're on our devices, the more the world tells us we need to go faster and faster. But the more we can manage within our control to manage our anxiety, we'll combat it and live a slower, more peaceful life and have handles on actually overcoming our anxiety through the work of the Holy Spirit. I hope this helps.